Marathon, Bungie's coolest IP, has finally brought us the coolest map. And yes, puns are intended. Cryo Archive is finally available with some regularity, and the few times that I've gone have been some of the most exhilarating moments in marathons so far. This is PvPvE at its finest. The pinnacle of marathon's content is waiting in low orbit a few days a week for you to board with a group of your friends in order to tackle raid-like mechanics in exchange for some of the dopest loot in the game. And by raid-like mechanics, I mean reading symbols and holding buffs. Way less pressure, especially if you're a seasoned Destiny raider. This isn't going to be a guide on Cryo Archive, and more of my thoughts on the map as a solo player attempting a mode that isn't for solo players. The launch of Cryo Archive had me watching more than playing. As a mostly solo player, it can be hard to coordinate time zones with friends, and as for playing with randoms, it's hit or miss. Mostly miss. Despite that, there are so many great people in this community that I really want to play with. I think we're all kind of scrambling to play with as many friends as possible because we all love marathons so much and we don't want the game to go away. It's tough when there is so much negativity around something we all like, and in an age when servers do shut down and video games are killed, it's a reality that we have to consider. Personally, I don't think the game is shutting down anytime soon, and this wasn't supposed to be a video on stop killing games. Going back to Cryo, I'd rather not let my inexperience jeopardize another runner's good time and loot, so I've been doing everything I can to learn about Cryo before each run. The main focus of Cryo Archive and the first raid-like mechanic is hold the buff. Some enemies will drop security cards, and your goal is to collect as many cards as possible. These cards upgrade your security clearance buff and allow you to traverse to otherwise locked parts of the ship, as well as access exfil once you reach clearance level 3. There are also scanners and computer terminals around the map. The scanners reveal relevant items and locations, while the terminals give security clearance. This is where my personal experience ends, and when I recommend watching a guide before attempting Cryo yourself if you require more information. It's hard to get hands-on experience in Cryo Archive. The PvE is manageable, but the PvP feels a little too sweaty for me to really enjoy myself. It feels frantic, and there's next to no ability to negotiate safe passage in these halls, so goings have been rough for you, girl. The loot is insane from what I've seen so far. I've come across a few purple mods on some UESC guns, and some wicked awesome materials and collectibles. Despite not being able to extract from Cryo because of inexperience, it's still a cool space for me to explore. The Cryo sponsored kit was a really good idea to get more people into the marathon when it first opened. I wish there was a way to purchase these kits for credits. It's nice being able to have gear to enter Cryo, and a purchasable kit would be helpful even if it cost 10,000 credits. This is mostly because credits are more attainable than scavenging enough gear in order to stand a chance in Cryo Archive. Going back to PvE, I've never fought UESC like this before. It's cool to see enemy density like this in Marathon. Being so removed from other teams, it almost feels counterintuitive to start a run going loud. But without security clearance level 3, you aren't getting off of this ship. It's a really cool map that has a lot of fun mechanics, but the experience hasn't been enjoyable for me. In short, it's a fun space that I'm not having fun in. PvPvE aside, because of how complicated Cryo Archive is, I found myself watching guides on every aspect and mechanic of the map. I know I'm not in the upper percentile of players who is having success in Cryo Archive, so it's been nice to live vicariously through other runners. Watching these guides took me back to the feeling of learning a new raid in Destiny. This was really cool for me because I haven't raided in Destiny in a few years, and I felt nostalgic for synergy and working with a team to complete a goal. One day, I hope to be able to do the compiler encounter, but for now, my aspirations don't align with the reality of the situation. The unlockable cosmetics for Cryo will unfortunately have to wait. This is why I wish Cryo was soloable. As someone who regularly enjoyed pinnacle content in Destiny, it's been tough not being able to engage in Marathon's pinnacle content. From what I've seen, most Vault's difficulties can be compared to Conflux's encounter in the Vault of Glass raid. The compiler fight looks as complex as Zulmak's encounter from the Pit of Heresy dungeon. These sound doable, but given the nature of Cryo Archive, I know that for me, I don't have access to this part of the game, and as someone who plays Marathon more than you, that makes me really sad. It's nothing that'll ever stop me from running. I can still run and be sad, but nobody likes to feel sad, especially when they're playing their favorite game. This game's a lot of fun, but I'm struggling with having very limited access to pinnacle content within it. The Marathon has always been a huge interest to me, and I loved being able to explore its interior briefly. I would love more access to the ship though. The Marathon only being open a few days a week is a cool idea, but I'm so over the whole Trials of Osiris model of only available on the weekend. I understand that the loot inside the Marathon is a little game-breaking, but there must be some sort of middle ground, surely. As it stands right now, the people who are able to grind out Cryo have access to that game-breaking loot, while people without the time or the friend groups to grind out Cryo are left to their own devices. This disparity isn't great. Having a limited window to get game-breaking gear makes sense, but the vast majority of us can't even exfil from the map, so what does limiting access really do other than cater to the upper echelon of runners? All I am ever trying to do whenever I board the Marathon is extract with some collectibles and faction upgrades. My enjoyment of Marathon as of late has been coming from these faction upgrades and unlocking various codex entries. All I want are more opportunities to play this game. Bungie created such a beautiful and immersive world that I just want to get lost in. I haven't been this excited to hear an audio log or find a collectible in ages. There is real depth in this game, and I'm so excited to experience it all eventually. I'm just impatient. Thank you to everyone who has been supporting me here, and especially on Twitch. It's been really fun being able to interact with everybody during my runs. If you ever want to cheer me on as I race around Tau Ceti 4, my Twitch schedule is Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're ever wondering why I don't stream on the weekends, it's because I need to be well rested before I run my next marathon. Thanks for watching.
Like, comment, and please subscribe. and you for